detrimental.com.
You're in the grill pit, nigga. On Bruce Rivers, and I'm gonna react to that thing he did on Jeffrey Williams because he's acting like he's not acting like he's on anybody's side. He's just trying to review. Like, dude, stop playing games with people, and y'all keep putting this irrelevant shit out. Like y'all doing something. Like, what the fuck is you even? Why do you even have a fucking YouTube channel? You're not helping nobody. He's explaining why there might be a conflict of interest on the case. Who gives a fuck about that? Won't you explain why they're using a conspiracy charge? Won't you explain why they're using a RICO charge? Why you want to go into all that shit? Why is it so important for you when you walk into the cell? You tell me, don't worry about anything, just plead not guilty. For what? You haven't even read the charges yet. I just plead not guilty because it established a conflict so we can go to court so you can spend all my motherfucking money instead of you challenge the constitutionality of this statute they got me under and basically telling the court it's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, just real shit. Now only thing you want to do, because as soon as you establish a conflict, you can immediately start charging me for some bullshit. You know, instead of actually getting to the root. Start running my bill. Anything you do from here on out, you charge me for. I got to put a motion into the court. I got to do this. I got to send a letter. You got me on because it's all a racket at the end of the day. Won't he tell the truth about that? I'm fucking hot. I'm fucking hot about that shit because, like I said, he running around here acting like he doing somebody a favor. And I'm like, man, shit.
He walking around like he got your best interest at hand, but really he got his best pockets, his fat ass bank account at hand.
Well, but the thing about it, just like
this is SAF Moe. You're in the yeah. This episode of Grill Pit, what I like to do is react to criminal lawyer Bruce Rivers. Superman. Bruce Rivers breaking down Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, aka can I get out of jail free card, aka what you got on the three-way, aka what we cooking tonight, Jeffrey Williams. I watched this demo by this Bruce and that Steel dude and all this other stuff, and I gotta talk about this. So, let's do it. You did. Let's get right into this.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Are dungeon-like conditions in the jail, and nobody likes jail. Nobody. And jail's not meant to be comfortable. Here's the thing. I've seen people argue how awful the county jail was and how bad their staff was and how they don't get medical care and all this stuff. And when you're saying that, guess what? A deputy's sitting right there, and they're the ones in charge of the jail, and they're the ones...
Hold up, 1 minute, Mr. Bruce Willis' cousin. The problem I have with this conversation, this piece that he has, he's minimizing the conditions of prison. Now, my man, Jeffrey Williams, no matter what you think he did, he's still innocent to proven guilty. So why does an individual who's been innocent to proven guilty have to suffer, live in deplorable conditions, not have medical attention, eat raggedy-ass food, when he's innocent than proven guilty? See, the reason why he could say this, because he feels as though in his heart he's never going to end up in prison. So yeah, jail is supposed to be jail's not supposed to be anything but a temporary place for an individual prior to them going to court. But what they do, Mr. Rivers, they deny bail, just like they're doing now in this case. They deny bail in order for a couple of different reasons. And this is why we set this platform up. This is why we're talking about what we talk about. Because individuals don't realize what putting a person in jail does. He's not even in prison now, he's in jail. So all it is a mental situation, right? It's a mental combat. So you take an individual who used to be free now and used to doing everything, eating what you want, going to bed what you want, going where you want to go, kicking it, you know what I'm saying? Kicking it with your people, being able to do whatever. Now you got them confined in a box. You got them in solitude. You have them in deplorable situations. You have them, just locked up 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Paying to use telephone, barely using the phone, only being an hour out of your cell. All that is mental combat. Why are they doing it? You need to ask yourself, why is he so comfortable with this? Because they use it as a tactic. Because most people, once they spend enough time in county jail, they end up taking a deal, pleading, telling on somebody, and another thing that keeps you from doing is having access to those things around you so you stay strong. So here we go. Come on, man, for real. We already starting off in a bad foot. Bruce Willis.
Who are charged with giving you care while you're in jail. A judge saying that there are dungeon-like conditions, so I'm not going to release you, is not a reason to let somebody out of jail. Jail's unpleasant. There's just no two fucking ways about it. Jails are just simply unpleasant. They're not meant to be pleasant. But there's two reasons why you should hold, that the court takes into consideration any kind of conditions of release. One is risk of flight. And if you have means and you have a passport and you have a big case or you're looking at life, the other thing, the punishment that you're looking at is also factored into. What is your incentive to stick around? If you're looking at a couple years, that's different than if you're looking at life. And if you're looking at life, they look at two things. They look at risk of flight and harm to the public. So when you have all kinds of weapons seized and drugs seized, that's a consideration that the court makes. The court doesn't going to say, well, the jail's uncomfortable, so we should release you. Not a persuasive argument for the court. So let's look at and see what happens at his bond hearing.
Good morning, Mr. Jeffrey Williams. My name is Judge Rashida Oliver. You are here on a bench, what we call our benchmark calendar for Fulton County Superior Court. Be aware that on this calendar you are here because you have been indicted under 22 SC 182273 for conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act and participation in criminal street gang activity. I brought you forward so that you can be put on notice that for the felony charges that you receive, you are to be presented before the judge, Honorable Judge Earl Glanville, at the next available calendar that will be presented in courtroom 8F at 9:30 a.m. The date at which you are to appear at this time, I am not aware of. But be aware that you have the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself while you are there and anywhere else.
This is just me. Does this Jeffrey Williams he look like he don't know what the fuck this broad just said. And that's how you are when you in jail. It's like all this shit, can I ask some out-of-tunes to do a concert? Get up out of here? No.
Anything that you say can be used against you. It is my understanding that you are being represented by Attorney Ryan Steele and the District Attorney's Office, Don Gary, are also on. So I wanted to make sure that you were fully aware of that. Eddie Geary, is there anything else that you would need to add? And then I will hear from Attorney Brian Steele.
Judge, respectfully, I think you've already stated that there's not a bond issue. There's not really a first appearance other than you're verifying his counsel, which would handle.
So the criminal procedure that he's talking about, this is just his initial appearance, just to get before a judge. There's what you call your first appearance. At your first appearance, there's two things that happen. They read the charges to you, and they determine conditions of release.
There we go. This episode I should call Lawyers are Liars. What they're doing right now with Jeffrey Williams is connecting him to the charge. If you see anything about charging papers, all I see a lot of people talk about is how your name's in capital letters and stuff like that. Right now, they're connecting him to the charge. He's identifying who he is and telling them he is that individual on those charging papers, and they're about to run the game on him right now. So pay attention.
This is just an initial appearance before the magistrate.
Handle the first appearance issue. One thing I want to put on the record, Judge, and thank you for giving me the opportunity, is at an appropriate time, we're going to file an objection or notice of objection to Attorney Steele. While he's a brother attorney, he has represented multiple people on the indictment.
Now, that's another. So they're going to try to kick Steele off the case. The reason being, you can't serve two masters. In other words, you can't represent more than one.
So I want to stop Mr. Bruce Rivers right here, right now, before he even opened his mouth. The criminal and justice lawyer, is first of all, you notice how the attorney used the word brother. So what these individuals don't tell you, they all take an oath to the court. First and foremost, he's about to tell you that you can't serve two masters. His master is the court. His master is the judge. So he really doesn't help you at all. What he does is negotiate your body to the courts, to the system, to the state. That's all his job is. That's all he does. So when he talks about a conflict of interest, you can't serve two masters and all this other stuff, who are you serving? Who do they serve? They definitely don't serve you. You know what I'm saying? 9%, 90% of the time, the only thing they're gonna do is negotiate a plea deal. And what he's doing right now with that appearance and all that other stuff is they're establishing a conflict, so now they can start charging you. They can start billing you. Because once there's a conflict, now you got a date they're gonna set in court, they're gonna do all this other stuff. So I don't know. This dude, I don't know why he got a show.
One client in the same criminal case. It's just any lawyer that does that is a lawyer that's really not doing something that they're supposed to do. And that's why they're talking about there's a conflict. So
if the offense is not one that is bondable only by a superior court judge, I heard what you said as well, but the offense here is Mr. Williams is only indicted on count 56 and count 1, which is a criminal street gang activity and a conspiracy to commit racketeering. And both of those, I believe, are within your breast to set bond, and I would like bond to be heard by your honorable court.
Now, at the time he's making this argument, there aren't any other charges yet.
As far as, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Thank you. And certainly, go ahead, Attorney Steele. I want to make sure I hear you out.
Okay, Your Honor, thank you. As far as the conflict, Mr. Geary, as well as District Attorney Willis, have explained that to me, and I believe that if they file the right motion, a hearing will be held. And under the law, this is not an actual conflict of interest. It is a potential conflict of interest which can be waived, and I believe that will happen.
So what that means is he's represented some other people who are probably on the indictment, and so it doesn't create an automatic conflict necessarily, and as long as he's not representing the other people now, and as long as he can't use anything in his representation of that person that the conflict is supposedly there against him. So that would be that.
Would be correct with the state of the law itself. But as I am sitting as Superior Court Fulton County delegated judge, there's a specific delegation order for which I am operating under that indicates that the authority to set bail is simply not delegated for any case, regardless of the charges involved, that has been indicted and assigned to the docket of the Superior Court judge. And that is the order in which I am following. And so because I am doing so, I'm not at liberty to do a bond unless I have some additional authority to do so. And at this time, I do not. So unfortunately, you will have to submit your motion for a bond directly to the Superior Court judge that is handling this case, which is Judge Earl Glanville.
So what they're talking about, like in our jurisdiction, you just have district court judges.
What they're talking about is basically a tactic that they use. They basically have him appearing before a judge that he can't make bond. And even if he could make bond, we pointed it out. If you watched our last Grill Pit, it's like if they let you make bond, but if you have other charges, it doesn't matter if you make bond in one if they can refuse bond in the other. So what they're doing is the state spent millions of dollars to incarcerate these individuals. They don't want to let their prize goose go home, and rap about it. So what they're doing is they're stopping them. They're stopping them by playing this 3-card Marley game, this little game with them. And if he knew the law, and if the attorneys weren't working against him, three friends and a stranger, three friends and a stranger, if his attorneys weren't actually working against him because he does not know the law. That's how they take advantage of you when you don't know the law. They don't know the law. So he's sitting there thinking that there's actually an opportunity for him to go home when the state's already put obstacles in front of him, and he ain't going to be able to go home. Period. They're going to fight it tooth and nail.
In federal court, you have magistrates, and then you have your district court judge. The magistrate generally sets a bond, and if you have or doesn't set a bond, and if you have a problem with it, you can go to the district court judge. Here, she's saying that she doesn't even have the authority to set bond, and that it has to be set by a superior court judge.
And this is what I love, right? After you sit in front of the judge, and you go back into your bullpen, your little holding cell, a motherfucker like him come up there and start talking, telling you all this shit. Oh, it's technical. This is how it goes. And in your mind, you want to believe him. You want to believe that he's telling you the truth. But in all reality, the state's already set up these blocks, so he could not make bail. You know what I'm saying? So they're taking obstacles in front of you. If you don't know it, you'll pay $1,000 to get out because you in the county jail to find out you got a DOC hold and you can't get out because the DOC is out to see you, gonna give you a hearing and send you back to prison or restructure or whatever it might be. But you're not going home. You just wasted $1,000. So in this situation, it doesn't matter what he makes or what bail he does. What I hate about it, and the reason we got this, I'm SAF Moe, the prison lawyer. You dig? I'm SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. And all lawyers lie. But this dude right here, come on, man. Please. He got a JD in lying. But it's not him. Don't get me wrong. I don't know this Bruce Rivers. I don't know him at all. I don't know what's going on with him and why he feels as though he needs to explain the law to us. Because I think we should learn the law and not have people like him explain it to us. Because all he's doing is lying to you. Let's get back to this garbage.
Judge.
So, right, certainly. So the order of the court on today is that he's been put on notice. He's not gotten a first appearance in that particular situation because he is indicted. He is not subject just to a warrant, and it was not a warrantless arrest. So that is where we stand at this time. Mr. Williams, I'm sure your attorney will reach out to you and give you further indication of what needs to happen in your case.
So that was his first time in court. So shortly after that appearance, Mr. Williams appeared in front of another judge, and that judge also denied him bond. But bad news for Mr. Williams is that a search of his home was conducted, and as a result of that search, he got, I think, 7 new charges. So, and those included possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Who cares? Nobody cares about marijuana. Possession of a Schedule 3 or 4 controlled substance with intent to distribute, i.e. lean. A lot of lean.
How does this motherfucker know about lean?
Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. In other words, possession of a firearm while you're possessing drugs. Possession of a sawed-off shotgun, sawed-off rifle. So,
see what he said? So he says, oh, marijuana is nothing. Marijuana nothing. Oh, but now you got a firearm. That's why marijuana is. That's why they put it on the list, because a lot of states got statutes that aggravate it. So if you're a drug dealer with a pistol on you when they bust you, then that's an aggravated charge. So like when they ran into my crib, I had my pistol and all my other shit, and but my pistol was registered. So they still tried to book me or he's got drugs and he's got a gun. You know what I'm saying? They didn't charge him with any of them because they wanted the prostitution charge. But still, you feel me? It's just like he's making light of this again. He's making light of this situation, like, oh, it's nothing. It's like it is something because it's all tactical. When he makes it like, oh, you don't have to worry about marijuana. No, you got to worry about marijuana in your house when you got a pistol on you. You know what I'm saying? Or you got enough dope so they can say you were distributing. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep on watching. Let's see what this trickster Fox got to tell us.
Rifle, machine gun, dangerous weapon, or silencer, unlawful for a person empowered by or associated with a street gang to participate in criminal activity. So what we have here is we have 7 new charges. And one of the things, remember what I told you, that a court looks at the risk of public safety. Well, one of the charges,
bullshit. They use public safety for anything. It's another tactic they use because they almost have immunity when they say public safety. So they can say public safety. They can put public. It's like a trump card. They can put public safety. We don't want to feed them peanut butter and jelly. You write a motherfucking a petition to get peanut butter and jelly, and you request it, and you get up through the courts, and you got to win. And that first thing the state's gonna say, and as a rebuttal, is that it's in the interest of public safety. We can't afford to get them peanut butter and jelly. I mean, they can say interest of public safety on anything, and they usually say it on anything because it's their sovereign immunity to say it's in public safety. Nobody else is gonna step across that line. Not a judge, not a prosecutor, not a defense attorney. So that's why he's using it, and that's what I mean. He's not telling us the truth. If you're gonna get on here and you gonna Mr. whoever the hell you think you are, super lawyer, you gonna get on here, at least tell the truth, man. You understand? I ain't no lawyer, but I've been in the system long enough to be a goddamn lawyer, and a good one at that. Let's keep this shit, though. Let's do this.
This is possession of sawed-off shotgun, sawed-off rifle, machine gun, or other dangerous weapon or silencer. That is possession of a firearm equipped with a switch. We know what a switch is? Of course we do. A switch is a block that you put on a lock, and it prevents the slide from locking, and it makes a semi-automatic handgun fully automatic. Highly illegal, and I guarantee the feds are looking at this case. I would find it hard to believe that they're not. So if you were just dealing with the RICO in a historical context, the bond wouldn't be that big a deal. But when you have current search warrant that links him to criminal activity,
now wouldn't you think that now it'd be strategic for them to not bring the RICO by itself, but also wait until he has dope, guns, and all the stuff in the house necessary to make him out of this individual that he's not. But when you put all that stuff together, if you watch the show IGSTS, SAF Moe, your prison lawyer, with my man Ron B, he ain't here right now, he at work. What's up, bro? They do a lot of stuff, and I said it's always been a strategy since the charge itself to denying bond, bail, whatever they want to call it, to right now, this guy's talking to us about how that this conspiracy charge with this racketeering charge, and historically this, and he's got a switch, and he's got all these things. He's got all these things he sings about, he raps about in these songs, and everybody made him feel like it's okay to have that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but I am trying to correct this dude real quick, because right now I'm gonna let him finish saying what he's gonna say before I jump in.
That is not only drugs, but also.
I'd like to say something. All right, you ready? I give everyone out to you. Guys, stand up, man. You'll be sworn by Deputy Duke. Swear, man.
Raise your right hand, sir. You swear affirm the testimony you give today to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under the penalty of perjury.
Yes.
State your name for the record.
You may go right hand. Judge Louis.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. What do you want to tell me?
I'm sorry for disobeying the court. I'm sorry for disobeying my PO and being here again. And I just want to be home with my family and do right. And I know I just got so many millions of people that pays attention to me, and it's like I live I lived so different. Not blaming it on that, but it's like these last 6 days is like every time. These last 6 days was like the 6 days when I came back down to reality, and I understood that like, nah, this is real life. This is not. I got sons that's 10, 11 years old. They look up to me. I don't even want them to think like going to jail, even if you're able to get right out of jail. It's cool. I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to just grow because I'm honestly grown. I just make mistakes. Not that generalized form, but I'm sorry, and I won't disobey you again.
Firearms that are really, really dangerous. The judge denied him his bond. And here's the other thing. In this case, there's evidence of wiretaps. And obviously, we don't know everything. But some of two of the snippets, y'all ain't beat him up yet or shot him. Y'all getting soft.
Let me replay this because I didn't think I heard what I heard.
Soft. It sort of looks like he's directing things.
Was that just my ears?
And I'm just saying what I think right now, and what I think is based on very little information. It's just public reporting, basically. But I did find something very interesting that the District Attorney Willis had said in a press conference.
I'm gonna let you say that, Bruce. But I just want to say this right here. I'm not reacting to it just because I feel like, oh, this is a big case and it's notoriety. It's what I'm having a problem with is this first appearance still. So you're gonna do a reaction to the first appearance, and he critiques this lawyer on the things that he didn't do and this and that, or trying to make him look bad, his brother lawyer. And my deal is with all these lawyers, with the RICO Act, with conspiracy charges, how many people they done booked, and how unconstitutional this law is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it can't get no more unconstitutional than a law like a conspiracy charge or RICO. You know what I'm saying? And when I say constitutional, I know exactly what I mean when I say constitutional, because these laws are not, they're unconstitutional because they don't give you a defense. What can I say when you come and you say that because you watched the video, or you heard some lyrics, or you heard a telephone call, or I wore these colors, I can't dispute it. I might have worn red that day because I felt like wearing red that day. But when you already tell a jury, if he wears red or he wears blue, then he's guilty of a crime. If he says this, then he's guilty of a crime. Then what that does to an individual removes all defense. I can't say nothing but plead guilty, Mr. Bruce. Don't you talk about that? So, like I said, what I'm having a problem with, and why I wanted to react, and what I had to say, when I had to say it, as I had to say it, is because these individuals acting like, and they act like that all the time, like these laws that they utilizing against us, like the 100 to 1 and all that other stuff, like it makes sense. Like, oh, you're gonna get it because you got crack cocaine. Yeah, you're not gonna get it if you got powder. It's just how the law works. No, you criminalize behavior. You've always done that. So with this conspiracy charge, and you can see how it's been utilized through the years. So now they utilize it against these young men, you know what I'm saying, who for whatever reason, they doing whatever they're doing. Willie Lynch, I'd say the Willie Lynch syndrome would be my first go-to. And you're gonna attempt to put them in prison forever. You have no problems putting black men, brown men in prison forever, or people don't look or talk like you in prison forever, right? So what they're gonna do with this is attempt to do that, and perhaps these individuals need some time away. Perhaps those individuals who are knuckleheads, but for the most part, you got somebody who's figured out the system, that's doing well, and your whole purpose is to remove that wealth or remove that ability from them, because music is influential, and you got somebody who can control the masses, especially the youth, and they don't want that to happen. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that to be the case. So it's easy to attack individuals like a young, or kind of older Jeffrey Williams, or the other gentleman that got hooked up with him, or the other gentleman on the other side. It's easy to go after them, and you got Negroes doing it to black folks, or however you want to chop it up. And it's a sad situation when they're gonna use that white man's law to lock somebody up forever because he did what? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Let's keep it going, though. Let's finish. So let's see what Mr. Bruce Willis' cousin got to say.
She said at least 10 of the 28 defendants have been arrested, and some of them are facing life in prison if convicted, which I said in our prior video. Willis was asked about her decision to use Young Thug and Gunna's often violent lyrics against them in court. What have I told you before?
So he got this hat on his side. He keeps talking about snitching. Stop snitching. Stop snitching. Come on. You stop snitching. Okay. This dude right here is Leo. You know what I'm saying? He's not that person who's gonna pull a gun out and shoot you. You know what I'm saying? But he's Leo in the sense that he takes his oath to the court. The judge is his daddy, basically. He tells him what to do and how he can do it. And that's why they say, yes, your honor, no, your honor, yes, sir, no, sir, whatever. It's ritualistic. You know what I'm saying? And for him to say, stop snitching, and I told you not this, and I told you not that, it's not even that. This is not that. He's the biggest snitch of them all. He's a fucking attorney. He has no loyalty to you. His loyalty is to the public.
This is self-snitching, right? She said, while she recognized the first... This is straight from a district attorney. While she recognized the First Amendment is one of the most precious rights, she noted free speech does not protect someone from having their own words become evidence in criminal proceedings. Period. This is exactly what I've been trying to warn guys about. Just be careful out there. Be careful what you're doing. Build, and we'll bring you more reactions. But this is.
And please don't bring us no more reactions, Mr. Bruce. You know what I'm saying? Please not. And don't. If you're gonna do it, then just do it for real. Stop doing it with this whole shit you're trying to bring and lies you're trying to tell. You know what I'm saying? I mean, keep it real. You know, that's basically what I got to say about this. We're in the grill pit. SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And then you're in the grill pit. SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. You understand? And like I said, with everything, what this dude's talking about, and everything that's happening right now, when it comes to this, the First Amendment. So let's get to this First Amendment. He's talking about it's a precious right, and your words can be used against you, and this and that. I don't really know much about this Jeffrey Williams cat. In fact, I listened to a couple of his songs and whatever. You dig. And when it comes to the First Amendment and being able to say what you want to say when you want to say it and how you want to say it, when they set this whole deal up, and I go back to not being able to defend yourself, and them utilizing terms, so I can take anything, you know. It'd be subjective as hell. You know what I'm saying? Have no meaning, no context whatever, and make it what I believe, make it out of what I think it says, my perception of what it says. So that's what subjectivity is, right? So with this situation, with these charges and what they're doing, at the end of the day, it has less to do about what the First Amendment. And of course, what you say can be used against you. You know, if you say something, you know, foolishness, but this dude is making music, and they're doing what they're doing. And I think the conspiracy charge and the RICO charge is such a sleazeball way to put people in prison and give them a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? There's other ways to go about it. You know, if you truly thought this man did something, you truly thought he broke the law, you really came in with something better than this bogus ass bullshit. And as far as these lawyers are concerned, they're salivating, because the more people they got on these charges, the more people gonna need lawyers, the more their service is gonna be involved, the more they can lie and tell you lies and feed you lies and shit like that. So at the end of the day, they all benefit for the system. So they really don't want the system to start, right? They really don't want these. The reason why I can say what I can say and how I can say it is because at the end of the day, they make money off the system, how it works. So they're never gonna talk about laws being unconstitutional, letting people out, a bail for individuals, a reasonable bail for individuals, you know, or just putting a bail on the table. I haven't heard a thing about this man killing somebody other than maybe a conspiracy to be involved with something that killed. So he outright hasn't killed anyone, and he doesn't have a criminal record So why is he in prison when you let all these cops out? Well, you let them go home and chill, and they executed people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they killed people, they murdered people, they murked people, but it was okay. Nobody had a problem with that. But when it comes to this gentleman, nobody's got nothing to say. Everybody's quiet. Everybody's quiet. Everybody wants to talk about the law, and you're in trouble. You shouldn't have done this. Man, shut the fuck up talking to me. You did? I'm out of here. It's SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. Subscribe.
You in a grill pit, nigga. You in a grill pit, nigga. You in a grill pit, nigga.